So basically, Mike said to Patty, who said to me, make it happen. And I'm very excited that we were able to do this within this fiscal year. The other training that we've put together for you that you're either going to take this afternoon or tomorrow on ethics is one that we have tried to do every year. However, we realized we missed last year. And it's part of our audit requirement. And so Mr. Shorstein let us know that we had missed it. And so this year we're going to make that happen. Please take it either this afternoon or tomorrow. I am going to have your instructor self-introduce, but I'm very pleased. I worked with Marilyn Crotty at the Florida Institute of Government at UCF down in Orlando to find our speaker for all 4 of these sessions here, and she will be doing 6 of these sessions in Orlando. So we're really putting her through our paces with all of our folks. So Lisa, if you are ready.
Yes, I am.
All right, join me in giving her a warm league welcome, and we will get started. So thanks.
I'm very happy to be here. I thank you for having me. And just a little bit of background. I do have a few degrees under my belt, and I do have 2 boys that keep me very busy, 11 and 13, and I cannot wait until school starts back. I have normalcy again. They won't eat me out of the house. So I'm glad about that. Well, I'm happy to be here. I like to facilitate my training sessions as, ask questions. I like to also preface it as, we want to build a room of respect. We want to share our thoughts, our concerns without making you feel bad or different or what have you. This is important not only to the Florida League of Cities, but to you as well. They're investing in you. I'm investing in you, and I hope you walk away with more of what you knew or don't know about diversity, harassment, and ethics. And I like to facilitate my sessions by not saying that it was needed, if you would, but more of an awareness. More of, oh, okay, now I understand, now I know what that means. Or I forgot all about that. I've been working in the work field for X amount of years, and now, okay, now I know I probably shouldn't say those things, or I need to be more aware. All right? So far, so good?
Yeah.
So far, so good?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. The thing about the session that we're going to have today, we dialogue, we talk, we give Lisa feedback, we ask questions. So I would love to hear from you. A nod is good, but verbal is even better, right?
Yes.
Yes. Some of my sessions, I would have my participants say, yes, Lisa, but I don't know if I'm going to go there yet because we're just a few minutes in. All right, well, thank you so much for your introductions and sharing with me your longevity and your role and why you chose it, fruit or vegetable. So the purpose of the session, what did Lynn share with you as far as why we're here?
I don't know. I was just told to come.
Culture committee recommended it.
All right. Why do you think? Do you think it was needed, or do you think it was just more of
Refresher.
refresher? Okay, I like that. Thank you, Ryan. What else?
I think it's to make sure that everyone is on the same page regarding the topic, and so that everyone has varying views about this issue. But if we're going to work in concert with one another within the organization, we should all have a clear and uniform understanding of diversity matters and other issues related to that.
Do you think that we, when I say we, I include myself as well, do you think we have an understanding of what diversity is?
I think if you're older,
Okay.
you've got a lot broader understanding than if you're a newbie fresh out of college.
Okay.
Because colleges, yes, there are various people, backgrounds and everything in college, but it's still a microcosm. And then you go out into the workplace and it's like, I didn't choose these people. Somehow I got chosen, and I better learn how to get along to make it easier on the workplace and easier on me.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Do you think that is harder or easier now in the workplace as far as dealing with, if you would, people who are not like yourself? Yes, Sam.
I think the diversity is like DNA.
Okay.
Every
I like that.
person is more complex than we realize. It's not about race or color or necessarily where they come from. It's their life experience is more important than anything else.
Life experiences. We're going to talk about and give the actual definition of diversity. And I do like to hear from you as far as, what diversity is and why it's, prevalent or why it's in the forefront and why sometimes we don't acknowledge, what diversity is. In your roles, you know that you are going to encounter people who are not like yourselves, am I right? So in your roles, I know that you are supervisors, managers, leaders, individual contributors, not having any direct reports. So I asked this question. If you were aware of a situation and it was in your face, if you would, how would you react? How would you respond? Based on your definition, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, sometimes it depends on the situation.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know whether I would want to maybe report something up the chain or try to dialogue at that moment with the person. So I suppose it would depend on the situation.
Okay, that's a good HR answer, I like that.
But you don't want to be all in one box,
It
right?
depends. It depends. All right, I do like the goal of our session today to foster an inclusive environment where people respect and celebrate differences. We say that a lot. Oh, I do respect you. I do. But we want to create an environment where we all are respected. Do you feel respected here at Florida League of Cities? Would possibly your employees say that about you? Do you think they would say he or she understands me? They respect my differences? Do you think one would say that about you? The answer would be, I hope, yes. But it's okay to be honest. Because when you're not honest with what you know or what you may not know, then you're doing your employees a disservice. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Lisa?
Yes, Lisa.
All right. Now that we know the purpose of our session, now we're going to take a look at understanding diversity. Okay, expectations. What do you expect to get out of the session today?
Information as well as ideas on maybe how to do what I do better.
So information, resources, tools, how I can make my job easier, how can I make my team members, my employees, their job easier. What else do you expect out of the session today? It's not a trick question, there's no right or wrong, just what do you expect to get out of the session today?
I think we'll get to know our coworkers a little bit better and see the perspective that they bring.
Right, see their point of view, their differences. Again, it's more about acknowledgement, awareness, that's all, and respect. So it wasn't a trick question, it's what do you expect to get out of the session today? To learn more about me? To learn more about my director, my manager? That's all. That's all. Rules of engagement. This is what I want you to do for me. I want you to be engaged. I want you to ask questions, not only of me, but your peers in the classroom. That's the only way we're going to be able to understand diversity, know what diversity is, if we ask. I bet if I ask and poll, how many, okay, this is a good question. How many are natives to Florida? I'm one of them. I'm rare, right? Don't when you say that, people look at you like, you're like, really? You've only lived here? Yes, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to say, yes, I've lived here all my life. I've lived here all my life. So, rules of engagement. Again, I want you to be engaged. I want you to ask questions. I don't want you to feel like your ideas or your thoughts are not respected here, because they are. The Florida League of Cities is investing in you understanding what diversity is and what diversity is not. What questions do you have for me so far? None, Lisa?
None, Lisa.
None, Lisa. I want you to keep an open mind. I want you to stay focused. I've been facilitating long enough to know when you give me that glazed donut look, I know you need a biological break, and I will give those to you. You're free to roam and get something to drink or eat. Yes, take me up on that. And I'll know when to give you a break, when you're looking at me like, oh my gosh. If she says one more thing, I'm going to stab her with my pen. All right. So now we're going to move into our objectives. And some of this is in your workbook, but I like to facilitate by moving around the room. You can take notes in your workbook on the last page, if you would. Now that we've established, understanding diversity, the expectations I have of you and what you hope to get out of the session, rules of engagement, respect one another, have fun, ask questions. Now we're going to move into our objectives. Today, I want you to be able to define and understand what diversity is and what diversity is to you, first and most importantly. Next, I'm going to have us understand how affirmative action, equal opportunity, diversity differ. We kind of use those words kind of interchangeably, but there is a difference. Next, we're going to move into providing you some useful tools to help you manage diversity as change agents. What do I mean by change agents?
Someone who's a catalyst,
Yes.
someone who is proactive.
You want that proactive person. You want to be, that person that says, I don't know if what you said was appropriate. Help me understand. That's your role. That is your role as leaders in the organization, is to be that catalyst, to be that change agent, to ask questions. Whether you've been here 1 month, 10 years, 15 years, your role is to make sure that you are that change agent. You are that catalyst. Objective again, number 4, motivate all employees to be willing to challenge their prejudices. Why do we feel so uncomfortable with asking or challenging? What are we fearful of?
The unknown.
The unknown. Do we hope as managers and leaders, we hope it'll go away? If I don't say anything, maybe it'll just go away.
Well, since I don't have anyone who reports to me, oftentimes I wish it would just go away.
Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. So, the unknown. What can you challenge yourself with once you leave the session today regarding diversity?
Having more of an open mind.
Yes.
Being able to better ask questions of others without fear of judgment.
And we're so fearful. Those 5 human traits. One, being right, sense of belonging, being judged. But if we don't ask, then what are we doing? We have to ask. We have to challenge. We have to do it in a manner where we are showing respect. And again, how I preface this at the beginning of the session, I'm not sharing, items and definitions about diversity that you don't already know. It's more of an awareness. And what is your role in diversity? What is your role? That's what I want you to walk away from. What is my role as it relates to diversity? Am I going to sit back and not question or ask? Am I just going to hope that it goes away? That's not your role. Not at the Florida League of Cities. That is not your role. Your role is to ask questions in a respectful way. Get a better understanding That's all, just a better understanding. So far, so good?
Yes.
Yes, Lisa. I love it. Thank you so much. In your workbooks, please, I'm going to have you do a little pre-test. There's no right or wrong. You can do it together at your tables, or you can do it by yourself. Just depends. I don't really have a preference. So what I want you to do, I want you to look at what you know about diversity. Again, no right or wrong. It's just more of an awareness as it relates to your knowledge on diversity. So in your workbook, I believe this is on page 3. It won't take you very long, maybe 3-4 minutes to go ahead and answer these questions. Again, you can talk amongst your peers, your colleagues. And just take you a few minutes to do this. Questions, the true, false, multiple choice? Yes, thank you so much. Love it. All right, so we're going to go over those a little later, not right now. Again, there's really no test as far as, right or wrong. I'm fearful if I answered it incorrectly or anything like that. Now we're going to move into our diversity content. How many of you know what a kaleidoscope is? Of course. You look through the kaleidoscope, right? All right, so share some things with me as far as when you look through that kaleidoscope. What did you see?
Diversity.
Oh, okay.
Different
Right.
shapes and colors.
Thank you, Ryan. Different shapes, different colors, light.
Changes.
It changes,
All working together.
all working together.
Blend.
Great. It blends. All right, so if you put a kaleidoscope down and you picked up another, would you see the exact same thing? No, not so much. Not so much. Not so much. All right, I have here unique. Kaleidoscope, when you look through, you see beautiful colors, different. Let me ask you this. When you look through a kaleidoscope, how does it relate to diversity? How does what you just shared with me as far as when you look through a kaleidoscope, how does that relate to diversity?
All those colors and shapes are working together to form your picture.
Oh my gosh, give Jan an applause. I love that. I love that. Say it again, please.
All the colors and shapes are working together to form your picture.
And it's beautiful, it's unique. How does it relate to your colleagues and your peers?
You could use the same acronyms for us.
Right.
We're all working together for one goal.
Okay, we're all working together for the common goal of the organization. Right? For you to be successful, for the organization to be successful, for your peers, your colleagues, those who report up to you and you report up to them. All right, thank you, Jan, so much. I wish I had like gifts or toys to give you. What I want you to do in your workbooks, I believe it's on page 3. That's okay. What is your definition of diversity? Top of page 3. What is your personal definition of diversity?
It's an old wooden ship.
Old wooden ship.
Quote.
Anchorman.
Oh.
Someone got it in the room, I'm glad.
I only saw the first one. I didn't see the second one.
It's in the first one.
Is it too? Is it?
May I have to
He
rewatch
asked him what is diversity. He said, I believe it's an old wooden ship.
Okay, that's so funny. I have to use that now.
May need that slide up there.
To have an open mind.
To have an open mind. Okay. Open mind to what, though, Gail?
Open mind to everybody's opinion, what everybody brings to the table.
Everyone's opinion, everyone's thoughts,
Yes.
everyone's ideas. You're not here to make a person feel bad based on what they share with you. Have you ever been at a meeting and a question was asked and you felt like, oh yes, I got the answer. I have the response. And you respond. And then you get that look like, really? How did that make you feel?
Terrible.
It did. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes.
Yes, it's happened to me. So next time during this meeting and you're asked a question, are you going to be so readily to volunteer your response?
Maybe.
Maybe, maybe not. So are we respecting one's opinion, one's differences, or what we question or what we challenge? How's that diversity? Is that being diverse?
No, Lisa.
Yes, thank you. No, it's not. So what would you do different?
Be a little more open.
Be a little more open, be a little more receptive. What could you say, Sean?
Hey, great suggestion, and let's keep them coming. Try not to embarrass somebody or give them the really look.
Right. Great, thank you. We could also say, I hear you. I never thought we could do it that way. I may not agree, but I hear you. I respect what you're saying. Because we always say, well, it is what it is. No, it's not. It is what it is. I hear you. I respect what you're saying. Well, let's talk about it. Because diversity goes a little further than what we see outwardly. So in meetings, it's what we share when we don't feel so comfortable in sharing what we want to talk about. Anyone else have anything different? Anyone got anything different as far as what diversity means to you? The test. Thank you for sharing. All right. So what I want to do is talk about two theories as it relates to diversity: melting pot and our salad bowl. Okay, what's a melting pot?
America.
It's dipping is delicious, right?
Mountain Dew.
Yes, all I think about is just dipping it in hot cheese or chocolate. Okay. What else is a melting pot to you?
Blend.
It's a blend? Blend of what, Jan?
Blend of a bunch of components.
You said different
Different components.
components?
Different things.
And I have here selection. How does it relate to diversity? And you just taken my answer. Many cultures, races, religions blended together. Blended together.
They're all included together.
They're all included together.
But once they're in the melting pot, once they're melted, you can't separate.
You can't, we've kind of assimilated, right? We've kind of melted, right? All right, well, I need a volunteer. It won't hurt, I promise you. It will not hurt. Actually, you'll be very happy and very pleased. I need a volunteer, please. I'm going to volunteer you. Oh, Sean, thank you so much. Can you rise like bread? That's the least you can do. Rise. On the table. All right. I have some M&Ms here. Okay. And I promise you my hands are clean. I promise you. Okay. And what I want you to do is close your eyes and hold out your hand for me. Okay. And I'm going to place the M&M in your hand. And I'm going to tell you what color it is. I want you to eat it if you would, please. Okay. The M&M I place in your hand, the color is orange.
Okay.
Would you like to take a bite?
Yes.
Would you? Please, go
Can I
ahead.
have the whole thing?
You can have the whole thing.
Yum.
Yum, 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 yum. How did it taste?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Yum, 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 yum. Great, thank you so much. All right. Right hand again, close your eyes. And place another one. And this one is yellow. A lot of favorite colors in yellow. All right. So if you don't mind, just take them. Yum, yum. What did it taste like?
Chocolate.
Chocolate! Oh my gosh. But what color was the first M&M?
Orange.
Orange. Color of the second M&M?
Yellow.
Yellow. Did it taste different?
No.
Okay, but what was the different in both M&Ms?
You told me one was orange and one was yellow.
But did it taste the same? Interesting. Okay. Well, I thank you. We thank you. Please give Sean a warm welcome for coming up and doing this. All right. So they tasted the same. What did this have to do with diversity? It's just a little exercise I'd like to do with M&Ms. What did it have to do with diversity?
Looks different on the outside, but on the inside, the essence of it is the same.
It's the same. Are we all the same on the inside? My notes here, you know, with the M&M activity that we did, people are not the same as M&Ms, right? And when I say that, our human ingredients, I want to stress that, vary depending upon our age, our experiences, our race, our religion, our values, our upbringing, our lifestyle. But the M&M activity, sometimes we're made to feel like we need to, you know, form into this melting pot. We need to assimilate. Is that the case? Should we melt? We would say, oh, we're a melting pot. Are we?
And we should bring our own strengths to the table.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think differences can be complementary.
Right.
You can have different ideas, different thoughts, but it can help contribute to the whole.
Very good. Thank you, Sharon. Anyone else? All right. Thank you for sharing as far as, you know, our my melting pot and my M&M activity. Now we're going to move into, you know, education as assimilation. And this is just some background and resources I pulled as far as education and assimilation. You know, the major cause between Native Americans and Europeans was, you know, their language barrier. And so between 1879 and 1905, you know, the U.S. government created boarding schools, and the intent was to build a sense of community with whites, leading to the Indian children changing their allegiance from tribal government to the federal government. You know, again, you know, the intent was to have us understand the differences between, you know, Native Americans and Europeans. And do any of you have any other examples of assimilations that you would like to share? Yes, Sam.
It's not a great example, but
That's
the prison
okay. Let's hear
system.
it. I'm sorry?
The prison system,
Okay.
prisoners. A lot of assimilation going on.
Okay. All right. What about, you know, fraternities and sororities?
The military.
The military? Let me tell you what diversity is not. Again, diversity is not a melting pot. You know, we don't melt. We come with, again, as it was mentioned, we come with differences. We come with different education, backgrounds, religions, values, beliefs. It's not a buzzword. You may hear that, oh, it's the thing that's, you know, a barrier to hide from. About culture, but about respect. Respecting the differences. It's not about EEO or affirmative action. It is about the core concept that unifies diversity when we talk about these two. And then lastly, an absence of standards, a policy or procedure put in place by an organization that may or may not be specified to the entire population, and that's not fair. What I want to do right now is, because I've been facilitating long enough to know that you need a 5-minute biological break. Right?
Yes,
I
yes.
can see it. I can see it and feel it. So I think 5 minutes would be enough if you need to use the facilities, refresh your coffee, get something to drink, you can come back and we can continue with diversity and then move into our next topic. Is that fair? All right, thank you so much. 5 minutes, if 5-8, just, you know, book. But I'm actually going to give you the definition of diversity. And again, the American Heritage Dictionary has defined diversity as the fact or quality of being diverse. The fact or quality of being diverse, different. Again, a point of where we as humans, we come together and we respect when things are different. Where we come together. And then I have some few folks here, diversity pioneer Julie O'Mara, her definition, and Dr. Daryl Smith of Claremont Graduate University, their definition of diversity. And I like to get folks at the academia world and other folks as far as what diversity is and the definition. What we're going to do now is talk about what diversity is. We've talked about the definition, we talked about objectives, we talked about the melting pot, we did M&M activity. What we're going to do is talk about diversity is. It's about demographics. And what do you think I mean by demographics?
Age, size, location.
The makeup of our community.
There you go.
Okay, thank you, Zach. And what we're going to do is talk about, the demographics of who we are as a community and the demographics of who you are when you work for the Florida League of Cities. What I want you to do in your workbooks, please, turn to the handout where it has the video Village of 100, and it should only take you about 3 minutes to go ahead and fill that out. Read it if you would, please. Read the instructions. And again, asking you, try to imagine the Earth's population to shrink to a village of only 100. Shrink to a village of 100 people. But keeping in mind, all the existing racial groups remain the same. Fill in the blanks with your best guess. Shouldn't have to take very long, just your best estimate, your best guess for the breakdown of that village. Maybe 3-4 minutes. All right, so in looking at the video clip, what was your reaction? What resonated with you?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I knew it would be disturbing,
Yes.
and it was.
Shocking. I mean, like, well, that's for real. I mean, really? So shocking, disturbing, wow, what else? It does put things in perspective. It's like, oh wow, my life isn't really all that bad if I really thought about it, So let me ask you this. How do these statistics or what you just saw, how does it relate to diversity within our organization here?
I suppose we don't really hire internationally in that sense, so some of the statistics really are amazing, but they're not as applicable in a day-to-day work environment, except that they make you incredibly aware, knowing them. Yeah.
Self-awareness. Just self-awareness.
Being more grateful, certainly.
Grateful and accepting. The value of accepting others and their differences and respecting differences. We are part of this diversity world that we live in. And diversity is not going anywhere. It's not. We're more diverse in the world and the workforce than we've ever been. The need for tolerance and understanding. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your feedback and what resonated with you with the video.
Since the video went so quickly, can you run through the numbers?
Yes.
With us? Just because I'm very curious. I was writing as fast as I could, but I
Right.
certainly couldn't get all of them.
Yes. have my readers, but yes. How many Asians would there be in our village? 60. How many would be Europeans? 12. How many would be from the Western Hemisphere? 13. How many would be African? 14. How many would be from the South Pacific? 1. Male and female, male 51, female 49. White 18, non-white 82. How many would be Christian? 33, non-Christian 67. How many would be heterosexual and homosexual? Heterosexual 89, homosexual 11. 32% of the entire world would be in the hands of how many people? 5. How many of those people would be citizens of the U.S.? 5. How many people in the United States, actual population, have work disabilities? How many do you think?
3 million.
Okay, back to 3 million.
Is it 20%? I was doing it on percentages. I didn't know how it's done yet.
17 million. How many in our village would live in substandard housing? 80. How many in our village would have HIV? 1. How many would be unable to read? 67. Not have safe water supply? 50. Suffer from malnutrition? 33. Near death? 1. Near birth? 2. College education? 1. Not have electricity? 24. Would have access to the internet? 7. And what percentage would be trying to live on only 3% of the world's income? 33. Amazing. You're welcome. So diversity is about demographics. Again, the study of the population, the makeup of our community. It's about values, what is important to us. Again, we get our values from our parents, those that raise us, family values, a long-term process. We have to make sense and make sure that everyone is on board. It's a long-term process. It's not a quick fix. Again, what we don't know is not an overnight sensation, if you would. It's a long-term process. It's educating ourselves, respecting, asking questions, being open, and being receptive. Collaborative decision-making. We all have a voice. I go back to the scenario I used earlier as far as being in meetings. You know, we all have a voice. And respect. Lastly, about celebration. We celebrate that we are individuals. We are individuals. It's about celebrating that. We talked early on the melting pot theory. Am I correct? Again, the analogy I used with the M&Ms. Now let's take a look at our salad bowl theory. Remember I asked you about that fruit, vegetable? Yes, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. And when I asked you about your favorite fruit or favorite vegetable, some of you chose fruit that was in here, vegetables that were in here, some that were here, some that were not. So why do you think I had you to do that?
So that, because we were talking about diversity, so each of us chose things, and when we looked at it collectively, you could see the diverse responses from the diverse people in the room.
So diverse. So let me ask you this. So my exercise relates to diversity. Okay, so although there's different fruits, different vegetables, and things like that, do they have their own identity, own taste, own flavor?
Yes.
So if I toss it up, it's going to taste any different?
Yes, because the flavors combine.
Okay, so...
Something sweet with something not sweet becomes less sweet.
You can still pick out each individual.
You could. Say that loud.
You can still pick out the individual fruits and vegetables.
You could. Could. Isn't that great? If you don't walk away with anything else, walk away with that, Zach.
Would you repeat that, please?
Zach, please, repeat that.
even if you toss all the fruits and vegetables into a salad, you can still differentiate between each because you can identify each individual within the salad. It's one salad.
Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that.
But in the end, it doesn't make a good salad unless you have that diversity.
Right. Diversity. So my point is, as humans, we can maintain an individual identity. We all have something unique to offer. Moving on quickly. So a mind map activity. Really quickly, I'm going to have you do this. Your workbooks, please. We're going to do a little, really quick brainstorming mind map activity. And Zach, if you don't mind moving over to the table with Lynn. Ryan, if you don't mind moving over to the table with Lynn and Zach really quickly. I'm going to have you do this mind map activity. Within your workbooks, on page 3, the bottom of page 3, it has mind map activity. This is what I want you to do. I want you to draw a circle. One of you can do this within your groups at your tables. One of you could do this. Draw a circle in the middle of your paper and write the word Native American. You can write the word Native American and sign. You know, you guys have done a mind map activity, mind map.
No, Lisa.
No, you have, oh no, Lisa, okay. So for this exercise, what I'm having you do is, where's my little, right here. So in your workbooks, one of you just draw a circle here, and the mind map activity, what you're gonna do, right here, you're gonna write Native Americans. So far so good? So far so good. Clear as mud?
Yes, Lisa.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then what I'm going to have you do, I want you to draw lines to other circles, constructing a mind map. Doesn't have to be perfect, just really quickly, we're going to just do a little activity. And in this mind map, I want you to think of things that are important to the group and or culture of Native Americans. There's no right or wrong answer, just what do you think is important to the culture of Native Americans? I'm going to give you 3 minutes. We're going to from you. All right, and I'll just go around the room and you just share with me some of the things that you as a group, as a table, wrote down. All right, so first table right here, so you wrote Native Americans in the middle and then you drew arrows or lines to other circles, if you will. So what did you share? What did you come up with? What is important to Native Americans and their culture?
It's important, Zach.
Heritage.
Heritage? Culture? Respect?
Culture, family.
Family? Okay.
Faith, tribes.
Faith, tribes. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Sean, your table, what did you guys say?
You have family,
Family,
food, water,
food, water,
housing,
housing,
economics.
and economics. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. All right, Nicole, what did you come up with? What did you guys come up with?
Traditions, religion, family, and reproduction.
Traditions, family, and you said reproduction. Reproduction? Okay, I said reproduction. All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, Jenny, Sharon, what did you guys come up with? Mike?
We came up with history, tradition, family, culture, respect, acceptance, shelter, and land.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, ladies back here, Gail, what did you guys come up with?
Rituals, beliefs, traditions, nature, culture, land.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Casey, right here, what did you guys come up with?
Nature, tradition, sustainability, history, and family.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let me ask you, what was the common thread, the common theme that you heard around the room?
Land, tradition,
Family, tradition, culture, Heritage. All right, so let me ask you, what if I said, instead of Native Americans, I said Hispanics?
I think we have a lot of the same thing.
Right. So what's the point to this exercise, this mind map exercise?
People aren't as different as you think they are.
Of course not, Sharon. Duh. Why do you think, we have to do something as simple as this to come up with, you know what, we have the same values, regardless if we put in the mind map, Asians or Hispanics or Native Americans, you're going to come up with family. You're going to come up with respect, right? Right. So is that something that we need to incorporate within our organization? Something you're doing already, right? Yes, of course you are. Of course you are. All right. So I just have a few things here. Some of the things that you wrote down are up here. Some are not. But again, education, family, religion, beliefs, customs. Again, regardless of what we change up here, it's going to pretty much be the same. All right, moving forward, all right, so stereotypes, all right, so really quickly, who can tell me about female drivers?
They are great drivers.
They are great drivers. Thank you so much. What else can we talk about when it comes to female drivers?
We get blamed for everything.
We get blamed for everything, Sarah, you think? All right, who else? What else? Female drivers.
Insurance companies love them.
Insurance companies.
That was sarcastic.
All right. Thank you, Casey. All right.
We have no patience with our husbands driving.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much. What do you know about male hairstyles? Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your honesty and your feedback on that, Zach. All right. So what else do you know about male hairstyles?
They're very good.
They're very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Very creative.
Very creative, matter of opinion, right? What else?
Best hairstyle I ever had.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. What about senior citizens and technology?
They have a hard time.
Have a hard time, have a hard time. My mom is one of them. I tell you, I got her a new iPhone. That was amazing. I tell you, watching her try and slide things when it's not supposed to slide. Okay. Tell me about social skills of students. I can tell you about the social skills of students today, i.e. my son. Non-existent.
Wait. They're different.
They're different.
Their social skills are way different than our social skills.
Okay, tell me
They
what.
socialize different.
What do they do?
They socialize via this as opposed to speaking. We're used to everybody talking,
Right.
and that's not the only way to socialize.
You are correct, and it is different. Now, the question is, and I'm just going to digress just a little bit, is it right or wrong?
Depends
On,
on the person.
which is who? The situation? Okay, so I'm a parent, I can tell you right now. I like the human contact. My boys, believe it or not, when I'm in my bedroom, they will text me from the other room. And I don't respond. I do not. Because, one, I know that's different. That's how teenagers communicate, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm okay with it. It's accepting. So I have to set the standard. No, if you want to ask me for something, if you need something, get up off your hiney bobo, come in the room, and ask for it. So if I respond, then it's okay. So for me, I know it's different, but it's not accepting to me.
But are there not times that you would rather them text you than come in and spend 15 minutes explaining Or maybe that's just me.
I'd rather them come and ask me verbally, face to face, because I know it's on the cusp where they don't even want to have a dialogue or conversation, and the responses I get is yes, no, I don't know, you know, that kind of thing. So I'd rather have the human contact, if you would. All right, so yes.
Lisa, because you asked it in the context of social skills, one assumes interaction.
Right. And for teenagers or preteens, that's their interactions. They think that's their form of communication. Yes?
It's a mistake to let technology take the human out of the skill. And that's the problem. Technology is great. I'm a big fan of technology. But there's a limitation.
There is.
Particularly the gaming mindset, not just the texting, but the gaming mindset. You know, a diversion or a distraction for a temporary amount of time, just like food or anything else, is fine.
Right.
But when we let them do it 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day or whatever it is, we've gone too far. So I'm with you on that.
Thank you. I agree. Yes, thank you. Really quickly, yes, ma'am.
It encourages, if there's a problem with the socialization there to begin with, it encourages that to get worse. In other words, a kid that's not comfortable with socializing, to me, the technology is encouraging.
Right. Right. It's just adding more to. Yes. All right. Thank you. Yes.
Because you
No, go ahead, Sharon.
Because you phrased it as a stereotype, I think we're stereotyping. Clearly, when you look at social skills of students today, technology does weigh in, but I think you also establish a certain culture or standard within your own home. Like you said, if your kids text you, you refuse to respond that way. So what you've established in your home is that you want that personal interaction. Right. So I think that we are stereotyping kids, because my kids are very verbal. And even though they are very technically adept, they realize that within our home, the standard is to communicate verbally, and we do encourage personal interaction as you do in your home. So I think we're stereotyping kids to say that they're all
You don't have any social skills.
Exactly.
And that's not true. I mean, you know, I would say, of course, my kids have social skills. You know, maybe they don't. You know, again, it's a matter of opinion. But sometimes, you know, the older generation, we do stereotype students or teenagers. They don't have any social skills. They're rude, you know. They don't have to say please or thank you or excuse me and things like that. Yes?
Didn't we go through this, though, when the telephone came along? Used to be everybody would get together at the center of town and socialize, or at the fence and socialize face to face. The telephone came along, that technology was there. Now we no longer get together at the fence. We call from our air-conditioned homes.
Right.
Now we have text messages that the kids have gotten more used to. So are we not moving into a new norm as opposed to saying they're no longer socializing because they don't come talk to us face to face?
It's a matter of, one is accepting, and two, is it the new norm? It depends. It depends. Yes.
Also, Lisa, when you asked us about our stereotypes for those different categories, already if you have stereotypes, you have immediately set up barriers for communication with those different groups, because you bring preconceived notions to how you deem those particular groups to be. So that immediately sets up barriers and yeah.
Great, thank you. This is rich conversation. Got to keep it moving. Right, so again, stereotypes, again, some that we know, some we don't, you know. Black people can dance well, Asians are really smart, young people never listen. Are stereotypes negative or positive? So all of these are both? I know.
A well-dressed person is considered wealthy, and it may not be, but if you perceive different in a positive way.
Okay.
That's not a great example, but I had to draw.
Right, you had to pull it out.
Stretch.
Right, stretch, okay, I got that, all right.
As opposed to a rich man in overalls and a torn t-shirt, you might assume.
Make the assumption that they don't have any money. Okay. All right. Well, stereotypes are a fixed and distorted generalization made by all members of a particular group. Now, my view is, when I say most stereotypes are negative. In my opinion.
Now, see, now your loaded question there, it says, are stereotypes negative or positive? See, that you've added identifier, what do you call it, a modifier on that? Most. You didn't say that. If you said that, now I would agree.
Okay, we can agree to disagree.
You're the expert.
I hear you.
Right, hear you, right. I hear you.
You hear me, but you're not going to agree with me. I understand.
I hear you.
I feel your pain.
You feel me? So, for the sake of time, we're going to move on. There's dimensions of diversity. The primary dimensions in the darker blue are what we can visibly see on a person as far as their age, possibly their race, their ethnicity, their physical qualities, their outer. And then we learn about dimensions of diversity. Their secondary dimensions are things that we learn about people. And again, things that we have conversations and dialogue as far as their education, their values, their beliefs, and their work background, their military status, or they've been in the military and marital status and things like that. So those are the dimensions of diversity. The history of diversity in America, for the sake of time, some of this is in your workbook, how diversity came with the same treatment in public accommodations, the Civil Rights Act of 1875. The Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal. The 19th Amendment, women's suffrage, women had the right to vote. The Board of Education, separate but not equal. Again, how diversity came about in America. Again, the equal opportunity, this women's liberal movement, things of that nature. Let's look at some diversity heroes and see if you can recognize some of these with me. Okay. Who do you think that first person is?
Susan B. Anthony?
Yes. She was a prominent American civil rights leader who played a pivotal role in the 19th century. All right. Who might this man be? Martin Luther King. And number 3?
Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez. Number 4?
Is that Mary McLeod Bethune?
You are correct. Mary McLeod Bethune. Founder of Bethune Cookman College.
He's a giveaway.
Is that the founder of, what is it, Planned
BET.
Parenthood?
Or BET, is that the BET?
Antonio Hernandez, President and General Counsel for the Mexican American Legal Defense.
I never got that.
Who might that be? I'll tell you. Charles Sumner, an American politician and abolitionist from Massachusetts. He was severely attacked in 1856 for expressing his anti-slavery views. And last but not least,
Rosie O'Donnell.
So just some diversity heroes. Let me ask you, why is diversity important? We talked about the definition, your definition, why diversity is in place, but why is it important to the Florida League of Cities?
Yeah, in the cities, all over the state of Florida, different, I mean, tons of diversity. Tons.
So that's why it's important to the Florida League of Cities, because we deal with tons of cities.
You're messing with me, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm not really. No, you're right. You're on the right path. You're just pulling. I like to pull out facilitation. You pull out responses and get dialogue going.
Over 400 cities and all the people who encompass those cities, the community as well as the municipalities and their administrators.
Different, right? Different cities?
You have to throw me a feather here somewhere. I'm working with you.
Yeah, Pensacola is a little different than the city of Miami. I mean, Florida is a very diverse state.
Right.
Help me out.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. I mean,
help me out.
Just like we go to the legislature and argue that cities should make their own decisions, the state should stay out of it.
Right.
Primarily because every city is different and one size doesn't fit all. And as an organization, we should know that every city is different and welcome that.
Right.
Let's go with his answer. I like his.
I like your answer as well, but thank you, Case. You're absolutely right. So, why diversity of Florida League of Cities? Florida League of Cities is an environment of inclusion where differences, life experiences, and cultural backgrounds are respected and celebrated. As you mentioned, cultural background differences, Pensacola, Miami, vastly different. Would you agree? Okay. But it's about respect.
You could also make the argument that if you want to grow as an organization, you look at successful organizations, they have folks with different perspectives. When you surround yourselves with like-minded people, a lot of times you don't go as far as you could go. And if we want to continue to grow into the future, we need different perspectives in this place to help us achieve our potential.
Right. We can't limit ourselves. We can't limit ourselves to what's comfortable and what we only know as far as what possibly we learned from our family. Because once we move into the workforce and the differences that others bring to the table, we learn from that. So where do I go from here? For you, be a change agent, a catalyst, just like Lynn mentioned. The golden rule versus the platinum rule. What is the golden rule? Treat others as what? What is the platinum rule? Absolutely. Inclusion and valuing all differences. And again, it's about being part of a team, being part of a unit. And in your role here as an organization, you being the change agent and catalyst for that. The acronym, talk to yourself about it. Have self-talks in the shower, in the car. It's okay. No one's going to hear you but you. Talk to yourself about, where do I go from here? Be honest. If I have a concern or a question about diversity, who are you going to ask? Partner with your HR partner. Ask those questions. Again, you own your knowledge. That's what I share with my boys. You own your knowledge, you own your education. It's up to you to own it. No one else. Address the issue. Don't think it's going to go away. Diversity is not going anywhere. Address it, but address it in a common area. And say, I don't understand. Help me understand. I don't want to be, i.e., ignorant to what you're sharing. Help me understand. Listen and ask. Ask those questions. If you don't ask, you will not get the answer, then you're going to make assumptions. Keep an open mind. Again, what I'm sharing with you within this classroom is not about what you don't already know. Again, like we mentioned earlier, it's about awareness. The post-test, really quickly, let me give you the actual answers to the pre-test I shared with you earlier. Number one, diversity is a valid version of affirmative action. What did y'all have? False. False. Stereotypes can be positive or negative.
True.
But they're really more negative.
Right.
It would be pretty rare to be
Diversity is just about demographics.
False.
The concept of diversity began with the Civil Rights Movement of 1965. False. Civil Rights Act of 1875. The highest level of value that we give the diverse characteristics and behaviors of others is tolerance.
True.
Okay. The highest level of value. Okay. Someone says subjective. The highest level of value that we give the diverse characteristics and behaviors of others is tolerance.
See, I would say acceptance
Okay.
versus tolerance.
It just sounds like, I'll put up with it, but I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Go with it.
Well, it's false, but I see where you're going with that. And, that's up for, we could talk about that. That's something, depending upon the words. The melting pot is an excellent representation of the United States. False. A multiple choice, the dimension of diversity includes the following. All apply.
Management style.
Management style. Number 8, ethnocentrism is belief that, what?
Only one group.
Only one group or culture is the center of everything. Number 9, treating others as they want to be treated, knowing that we need to ask is, again, is that the platinum rule. Diversity adds, I have to change this, all apply. Demographics, global society, technology, economics, and welcome environment. Creating an inclusive and welcome environment. All right, so what's in it for you? Ask to attend this diversity session to gain an awareness of diversity and how to make a difference. You own it. I challenge you by working toward becoming an agent of change. It's up to you. I can do this by valuing, respecting, and being honest with the people I work with. If you're not honest, it's not going to happen for you. I've been there, I've seen it, I know for a fact. If I want to individually add value to the team and to the organization, you can embrace diversity and become an ambassador for promoting cultural climate change. That's what's in it for you. I hope you've walked away with a little bit of knowledge and understanding and awareness about diversity. You're more open to talk about it. You're more open to ask questions. You're more open to be respectful of one another, and that you have a sense of understanding. So far, so good? Yes. All right. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to take a really quick 5-minute break. So we're going to move into our next segment, which is harassment. And then that will lead us into lunch, right? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. So really quickly, you come back to your seats. We're going to move into harassment.